what I intend to do is just make a summary of all the things that have been coming at me lately, and I want to know if you feel the same, because, well, let me start off with this, okay? Just take a drink. Everyone knows, who watches this channel, knows that I don't believe there's a God. I know there's a God. It's just like, I know that this cup is here. I don't believe it's here. I don't believe my hands are holding it, do I? I can see it. I can feel it. I can taste it. I can touch it. And so I know it's there. And I know that a creator exists. You couldn't have all of this coming about out of chaos, because it just wouldn't work. You can't throw a load of marbles at the wall and make an elephant, can you? So there has to be a thought process involved. And you know it yourself, whenever you think about something, you tend to bring about it. Like if you're thinking of a person and they call, or you see them walking along the street, which is really odd because you haven't seen them in years. And you know that process works. Anyway, I'm going to read to you one chapter from the Bible. And I know some of you might be put off by that, but think of Psalms as prayers, okay? And this is a prayer for our times. And if you go to kingjamesbibleonline.org, and if you go to the top on the right hand side, it says book index. Go to Psalms and then chapter 141. Okay, and it's got 10. I'm not religious, I am very spiritual, and I believe in the heart, and believe know that the heart resonates exactly what you are feeling in your life, and the way you connect with people is through this resonance that you feel. And it's all to do with what I'm going to talk about today, and how over the past 3 or 4 years we've been taught to cut that off, to be separate from it. Okay, so read that chapter. If you can get it online now, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. I'll try to read it as though it's me saying it, not the person who's written it who's saying it. Okay? It's a Psalm of David, and he says, Lord, I cry unto thee, make haste unto me. Give ear unto my voice when I cry unto thee. Let my prayer be set forth before thee as incense, and the lifting up of my hands as the evening sacrifice. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth, and keep the door of my lips. Incline not my heart to any evil thing, to practice wicked works with men that work iniquity, and let me not eat of their dainties. Let the righteous smite me, it shall be in kindness, and let him reprove me, it shall be an excellent oil, which shall not break my head. For yet my prayer also shall be in their calamities. When their judges are overthrown in stony places, they shall hear my words, for they are sweet. Our bones are scattered at the grave's mouth, as when one cutteth and cleaveth wood upon the earth. But mine eyes are unto thee, O God the Lord. In thee is my trust. Leave not my soul destitute. Keep me from the snares which they have laid for me, and the gins of the workers of iniquity. Let the wicked fall into their own nets, whilst that I withal escape. Now, I don't like to say amen at the end of anything, any prayer, because it originates, if you look at Billy Carson, he'll tell you, he looks at the emerald tablets and Thoth and all the Egyptian gods, and the origination of all of those entities, I should say. And what I believe in this instance, is that when he describes Amen as this god of the Egyptian era called Amun-Ra, who was really quite evil and nasty piece of work, really didn't like human beings. He said that any prayer that you say always, at the end of it, you will say Amen, as in Amun Ra, because then you will remember me. Because when you say a prayer, you normally plead, don't you? Because people are normally saying, please God, give me this, do that, and save me from this. Or this prayer is saying, save me from the wicked, basically. And when I say a prayer, I don't say Amen, because I don't want to honour that God. I don't want to bring up any kind of feeling or sensation that is related to him. When you look at all the past few years, starting in 2020 basically, or you could say a decade before that, every year during flu season, we always had some kind of virus to be scared of, some kind of war to be fearful of, anything that would make us feel frightened, scared. And when you are in that frame of mind, it makes you close down in on yourself. And if I can allow me to say, from a psychotherapy point of view, when you have fear in your heart, it shuts down. When you have fear in your head, what that means is that you're tuning into the fight and flight syndrome, flight and flight mechanism, I should say, because it's not a syndrome, is it? And what happens is that this thinking brain, reason, consideration, thought, shuts down. And what happens is that your amygdala, which is your alarm system, and your hippocampus, which is your memory store, they link up together and they think, big bear, big tiger, I must run away. So everything in your system, your body, shuts down, apart from the nervous system, which gets you to run or freeze or fight. So when you're fearful, that's what happens. Think about when you're in love, when you're really happy. All those sensations go away. Nothing can hurt you. It's as though the world is a different place altogether. It's like you're looking at the world in a different way. You're looking at nature. You're looking at other people as though they are wonderful. Everything's so happy. You think of any time that a man has asked a woman out and he's succeeded. And she said yes. What happens? He runs and skips and jumps down the road and he thinks, yes! That's what a man does. And it makes him feel good. Now, a woman feels happiness in a totally different way. Instead of it feeling a sensation from the gut to the heart, then all the way along to the arms and out, that's what a man feels. You watch them at any football match, if their team scores, what do? Yes! And they let it out that way. It's as though it's an energy burst and it just goes out. They send it out like a signal from their antenna, so to speak. A woman, though, when she feels happy, what tends to happen, it comes from the heart and it glows, it resonates out. It's like a sensation and almost an orgasm, basically. And if she feels happy, content and safe, most important, then she allows herself to feel these emotions. She allows herself to invite other people in, especially a man, her man, who's going to provide and protect her and make her feel safe enough to do that. Provide an environment for her that makes her feel, wow, I can be myself now. And so she glows. It's like her whole facial features change. All the lines disappear. There's a certain tinge to the skin, a rosy glow, and almost like a blush, basically. And the energy inside of her is tingling. It's making her feel, basically, it's like when you see a shimmer, a fish swimming through the sea and you see all the scales shimmering there. That's what a woman looks like when she's in love. And each of these sensations bring about a perspective of the world that makes you think, nothing can hurt me. It's wonderful. It's brilliant. Now, if we go back to 2020, March 2020, in the lead up to that month, we were being told that things are happening that are beyond our control. That's in a nutshell. We were being put into this fearful box. We were being told something's going to happen that's beyond our control and we can't manage it, so you're going to have to do this and that and blah. So March 2020 came along and we were all shut down. We were all told to stay in our homes, keep away from people 6 feet apart, wear a mask, cover up, keep separate from everyone, not even allowed to hug or kiss or be any kind of human being, express those emotions. We were shut down and told to fear what was happening. Now, anyone with any kind of sense will know that humans need touch. What a South African told me once was that people get skin hungry. It means you want to hold somebody, you want to touch them, you want to feel close. And it's not just that, it's not the physical sensations at all, it's this heart that beats within us. It's HeartMath Institute, I think, .com. What it shows you is that they've stuck kind of monitors all over the skin, the head, around the heart region, and anytime anybody feels anything emotion wise, that resonates out like an energy force. It's like a field of energy. And it's like when you see these wireless signals, you see a cartoon thing of an aerial and it's got these signals going out, vibrating out. Well, that's what your heart does on a much more silent level. You can't see it, but you can feel it. Now, if we look upon what has happened to our medical industry, and it is an industry, it's there to make money. It's not to heal. It's not to help. Of course, I do agree with the fact that if you have broken an arm or a leg or you've cut yourself open in any way, then you're going to want to get a surgeon to pin it back together. That's fine. And to do that, you need painkillers. So you need the medicine. Now, medicine for any other thing, I don't agree with. I don't agree with any kind of pills, potions or liquids that are designed to suppress the things that are going on inside your body. What happens is that basically anything that you ingest, like this cup of tea, for instance, you look at the colour of that. All right? It's made from milk, a bag of tea, which is leaves from a tree, and sugar. So I've just taken a gulp of that and it's gone down my throat, my esophagus, and it's going into my stomach. And in my stomach, all the what's called chyme, the acids, break it down and they turn it into an editable or drinkable fluid that the body can use. So it takes away all the bad stuff, which is all of this, apart from the water. Okay, because milk isn't designed to be, not milk from a cow anyway. We're not supposed to be drinking that. We're not supposed to be having sugar either. What happens is that it goes through the digestive system and it normally takes about 6 hours from here all the way out. This is all very, very basic information. I could go in depth about it, but this isn't a biology lesson. It's just giving you the idea of what happens basically in your body and why these things are happening in the world. So go through all of your stomach, your pancreas gives all the enzymes, and your gallbladder, it's designed to make everything soapy and able to get through. Your liver sieves all the crap out. And it goes through your small intestines, which actually break it all down and churn it up and takes all the nutrients out of it and then sucks all the good stuff out. Then it goes into your big, large intestine, which actually sucks all the goodness out so that you're left with all the crappy stuff you don't want. Well, crap, yeah. Okay. And then it comes out of the large intestine through your colon and down and out. So it's a fantastic system, and all of those nutrients are given to the body. If you've got all the vitamins, all the minerals, the trace minerals, you've got the macro and micronutrients, and you've got all of these different things that are going on. They all go to different areas of your body, right into the cells, so that the cells can place it into the blood, and the blood moves around your body and places it all in different areas where it's needed. Particularly your brain. Your brain uses up an awful big percentage of all the sugars, the energy, glucose I should say, that is required. And if you don't get those nutrients, some things are going to fail. And if you put in your body stuff that doesn't have any nutrients in it, that actually has poisons in it, then your body is going to grab hold of that poisonous stuff and either break it down and shove it out through the system if it can, or it's going to get stuck somewhere. And what happens is that causes the inflammation to start. Now, when the inflammation starts, that's what causes the ailments in your body. Not the viruses that they're scaring you into being outside of you. There's nothing outside of you that can come in to you to wreck whatever's going on, like a germ. You are filled with germs. Your body has a whole host, millions upon millions of germs in your body, especially in your gut. You need those germs in order to break down all the nutrients, break down all the bad stuff, get rid of it. They work on your behalf. So if you bash yourself, you bruise yourself, you break yourself, if you put things inside of yourself that are not good, you soon see what happens. You either get very, very sick or you die. So when you look at what we've been taught, there are two schools of thought, and one of them you probably haven't even heard of. We've all heard of Pasteur, Louis Pasteur. He's the one who told us all about the germ theory, germs that come in from the outside into your body. There was also a guy called Béchamp, Anton Béchamp. They're both French men, oddly enough, both at the same period of time, who both had ideas about this germ theory. Now, the pharmaceutical industry, which wasn't in existence at that time, you could say a group of rich men, got hold of Pasteur's ideas and ran with them and said, this is what's going to make us money. So, as soon as they put Pasteur's ideas into action, what they did was they fed all the medical hospitals with a load of money and said, go this route and we'll pay for everything that you want. All your research grants will be given the go-ahead. Everything will be at your beck and call. You will have big salaries. Your school will thrive, not just survive. Now, if you're from the natural route, which most of the doctors were at that time, training through natural nutrition and finding out the way the body works in conjunction with each other, not as robotic parts. Basically, those men and women they found themselves destitute and unable to continue with their work because they weren't being paid. They weren't being encouraged to continue it. Unless they were rich themselves, they couldn't really do anything. So you had one theory dominating over the other. And that's when the pharmaceutical industries took hold. You could argue that all these pills and potions and tablets and whatever, they're all originating from plants. But what happens is that they're put through a process in the lab that the plant actually disappears, and what you're left with is just a liquid or a powder that hasn't got any nutrients in it. No good, no. Actually, it's just poison. Because you know this because of the way when you take one tablet in order to help, say, your heart beat faster or let your arteries become unclogged, what happens is that causes what they call a side effect, and they have it listed on the box. So it's true. Go and have a look. If you've got any pills or tablets yourself, go and have a look at the side of your medication box, and it says, if you take this, it will cause this. And then when you go back to the doctor, because you're experiencing those things that it's causing and you haven't read the side of the box, you're saying, oh, I'm feeling very breathless and I can't walk around. Oh, he says, oh, right, okay, then we'll give you another tablet to stop that. That tablet is only suppressing the side effect of the previous tablet you're taking, and then you go back with another ailment that's caused by that one, and you carry on, and this is why you end up with a box full of pills. It's so sad. It's so wrong. Ask about your health. I mean, when you go to the doctor's surgery, most people just go and think he's very knowledgeable. They feel intimidated. He's sat behind a desk or she's sat behind a desk. They're very stern looking. They don't even look at you now. They just look at the PC screen. You're telling them exactly what's going on. They give you 8 minutes of your time, in Britain anyway. And they are supposed to come up with a solution to whatever you're feeling inside of your body, the sensations that are bringing you down. And they go, flick, that's what it is. Here's a pill for it. Now, if you sit there and you question them, they really do not like it. And the reason is because they don't really have the knowledge. They know the way the body works because they've been taught anatomy and physiology. They haven't been taught nutrition. They haven't been taught anything about nature, alternative therapies, unless they've taken it upon their backs to do it themselves, which I respect those doctors. There's no funding for that sort of thing in a university. The thing is, when I've been taking any kind of course, I've always striven to be as natural as I possibly could. Like, I've been told that some of the nurses that I know have always been taught to challenge somebody's dementia. To me, that is an odd concept, because whereas you've got, okay, I'll go into the gender thing. Okay, you've got the transgender people. Transgender, okay, it's your choice to do what you want with your body when you are an adult. When you're a child, you're full of all these fantasies, you're full of all these ideas, these wonderful things that you can do with life. You're also trying to establish your own identity, create your own character, understand what's right and what's wrong, gaining all the information that's all around you. And there's a lot of information for a child to learn, to take on board. And this is why parents are very important, mum and dad. I could go into the mum and dad role if you want me to at some other point, but right now, while you're growing up, you haven't been through puberty, so you don't know what it's like. Your parents do form your character, and then all the other people on the outside, the teachers, the doctors, anybody, people in authority, social workers, anybody that these children come in contact with, they will get ideas from. And if they were funneled down a certain channel, then they will go that route. And it is so sad. If you are in a non-traditional family, man, wife, in a stable home with a good income coming in and grandparents in the background, then you're going to have all of these shameful ideas coming into your head, coming into your heart, coming into the way you perceive things in life. And so you're going to push the boundaries. And if your parents are not there to say, no, this is the limit for now, you shouldn't touch that stove because it's hot. Okay? A child doesn't know it's hot until he touches it, and he just trusts the parent that it's hot. If they don't have that boundary, then they're going to push and push until there is no boundary. And so they will just try to become whatever they want to be. Now, if the child is filled with fantasies, which most of them are because they're in playground mode, they will think, I can be that fairy elephant on the tree in the clouds. I can be a boy. I can be a girl. I can be whatever I want to be. The implications of changing your sex at that age are disastrous. And there are loads of people who have transitioned who have committed suicide, and the ones who haven't committed suicide are now pleading with the rest of the world saying, don't do it, don't allow your children to do it. And I'm so glad that they're speaking up. They are so very brave to do so in this world of where if you just speak out just slightly against anything that's planned to do away with a family unit, then you're mocked, you're ridiculed, you're called a conspiracy theorist, you're called an agitator, somebody who's actually against society. I'm just putting in an addition here because I forgot to mention it at the end of the transgender topic that I was talking about. I mentioned dementia and the fact that some nurses, not all, but some nurses are trained to challenge dementia. Now, from my point of view and from the training that I've received and from the actual people that I've volunteered to help on an extended basis, there is no point in challenging dementia. Any kind of brain issue, there is no point. The reason why I compare it to transgender issues is that transgender adults have a choice. Children obviously don't. They're pushed and coerced and coaxed into that situation. With dementia, you've got a failing brain. Something is going wrong. It's normally plaque on the brain or a vitamin deficiency, chiefly vitamin B12. Now, what happens is that when you challenge a person with dementia who thinks that their wife or their husband or their loved one, their child, is alive, and you remind them continuously that they're dead, that is so stressful because they can't remember that. They cannot think in that mode. The memories are not there. Their choice isn't there. The choice to accept the situation. It's like going through the grieving process all over again, repeatedly, just to suit your reality. And that's not fair. The reason why I compare it with the transgender issue is that the transgender adult has a choice. Obviously the child doesn't. The dementia patient doesn't either. So there's no point in challenging it. In this world that we're living in the Western society, we're on the cusp, we're on the verge of changing from what is a relatively free society where we could express our views into some kind of dictatorship. And it's not a pleasant dictatorship. I don't think you can have a pleasant dictatorship, actually. You can have a person who is willing to stand up and say, you won't cause any harm against this person or that group of people. But then there is a step too far, because it doesn't matter how much you intend to be a good person to start with those kind of values in your mind, they always get corrupted. They always push it just that little bit too far. And you know why? It's the ego inside. They suppress the heart and the ego comes out, and that is the arrogance. the arrogance to assume that you know better than everybody else. If you are some kind of person who wants to take control in order to stop everything that's going on in our lives right now, then well done. But always have your advisors. Do not ever discount them. Always have them with you. And I'm talking about a whole variety of advisors, not just one or two that agree with the principles that you're aligning yourself with. Always have somebody in your cabinet, so to speak, who doesn't agree, who makes you see the opposite view, who makes you see what is wrong about it, and then go away and consider it. That's a good person, not a dictator, a person who sees balance and fairness. Because when we align ourselves with a certain view, what happens is that we tend to not be able to change those views unless we are very courageous and very humble and able to say, sorry, I'm wrong. I admit you were right. That takes an awful lot of courage to do. And most people are unable to do that because they see it as backsliding or backtracking or not standing up for their own convictions or standing on their own moral fibre, so to speak. So they think, I have to continue with this now, because if I don't, then these people will think I'm a hypocrite. So this is why you need advisors from all different shapes or types of cultures and societies. Right, let's get back to this thing, this virus thing. Viruses, they are caused by inflammation that is within you. The reason why anything goes wrong in your body is because of things, the foods and fluids that you're ingesting, that your body has to break down and isolate and use or dispense with. If it can't dispense it or use it, then what happens is it isolates it and causes a lump or a bump or a stone. You know, you've heard of kidney stones, haven't you? Gallstones, whatever. Or a blockage where the blood becomes too thick and then a stroke starts. See, that's the thing. If you keep suppressing things and you don't allow your body to let it out, purge itself, then it will build up and build up and build up, and then it will just kill you in the end. What happens is that, think of yourself as a big brown bear, not something to be frightened of, but a bear that's in the woods, living his own life, looking after his own kids and hibernating for the winter. What it does is it builds up fats in its body, like a squirrel maybe, if you prefer to think of it that way. Okay, think of that, a little squirrel. It eats all the nuts it can, it stores all the nuts it can, just to build up the fat reserves around the body. And the fat reserves there are to keep it warm throughout the winter. And when you don't eat throughout those winter months, your body eats itself. And so it first of all eats those fat cells. And that's what keeps it in survival mode. Now, when the spring comes, what happens is that that fat that has been built up, if it hasn't been used up, it has to be gotten rid of somehow. What happens is that the mucus comes out through your nose, through your mouth. You build it up through your throat, your lungs. It's all the organs that are in your body that deal with getting rid of things. Like your lung coughs up things, your sinus gets rid of mucus, your perspiration gets rid of fluids that are not needed in your body. You know, sweating, whatever. Spots are a way of getting rid of the excess toxins that are in your body too. Or, you know, if you've got dry skin or greasy skin, you know, dandruff or something, what happens is that your body is just purging itself. It's just getting rid of the toxins. And what we normally do is get a cream and go, let's get rid of this dandruff. Get a cream, let's get rid of this sweat. let's seal it in so we don't get it out. Let's spray this all over our body to seal it in. Let's get a little pill to stop me coughing. When you're coughing, that's designed to get the stuff out of your lungs. So what's the best thing for it? Honey, nature's antiseptic. Lemon. Any kind of fruits, green vegetables have got vitamin C in them. We need vitamin C. You know this from the sailors who had scurvy. Now if you can use these options, it smooths it down. It kind of gets rid of the agitation. It doesn't stop you coughing. It doesn't stop you getting rid of that what is in your lungs or in your nose. It doesn't stop it coming out. It stops the sensations that are really getting you down and tired. Also, when you are tired, you need to just nap for 10 minutes every so often. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not allowed to tell you anything that is going to give you any kind of cure. And I'm not saying that any of this will cure you. What I'm saying is it will make it easier, because nothing actually cures apart from you acknowledging what you're eating, what you're drinking, and how to go to the natural stuff in order to help your body get the strength back, to help you stop the inflammation, help your body get rid of the excess fat that is inside your body, or lining your body anyway, just beneath your skin, in order to help you keep warm or soften the blows. That's psychologically why people put on the weight. One of the reasons anyway. If you think about all the things that have been happening, not just over the past 3-4 years, you could go back thousands of years basically. You only have to step outside your door if you live in the city. Step outside your door and have a little walk around. And you, especially in London, if you walk around the city of London, not the money part because that's all modern buildings, but you walk around, say, the Natural History Museum, Kensington, around that area, and you see the buildings. You only have to look at the church, your local church, to find out. Most of these buildings were built in a time when we don't even know about. You're thinking they're so fantastic, so ornate, so wonderfully big and awe-inspiring. And you think, how on earth did they build these during that time period if you have your head screwed on? And the reason I say that is because we normally just walk around and say, oh, that's impressive, click, 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 and take loads of photographs. And we take them back, put them in our albums or keep them on our hard drives or whatever, and we don't think anything more about it. We just get them out to show friends that we've been so-and-so place. Oh, we've done that, we've done Europe, we've done Australia, whatever. People don't actually think about the building, the actual building itself. The people who've put those stones together had the idea to construct it, how those bricks were formed. Not just the bricks, but the ornate carvings are there. Not just stone either, it's marble, wood, everything that's takes time, takes skill, takes effort. And you see, when you say walk around a cathedral, you see this little display model and they show you little tiny men that are walking around the building or carrying ladders. And you're thinking, I look at them and I think, this was in the year 1086. Okay, going back that far, if you want to go back that far. Now we're told in 1086, or the year 1000, say, 1,000 years ago, 1,020 years ago now, that people didn't have the machinery we've got today. They just had hammers, chisels, and maybe a saw or two, but an axe, a spear. So how were they able to create those things. Question everything that you see around you. And also, if you walk around any street that's on a hill, look at the building and then go right the way down to the floor and see the windows in the floor. Why are the windows there? Question. Ask. That seems odd. Why would you want a window halfway up the floor? Okay. Look into it. All these things are there for you to question. They are there for you to open your eyes to, look around and ask, why is that? When I think about all these religions of the world as well, I do feel sad about that too. I feel right now we're being pushed down a funnel to have a one world religion. That's what the WEF wants. Now, religion to me is something that has been created to control people, control the masses, make them fear God, make them feel small, make them feel as though they haven't got any control of their life. Well, when you go down the spiritual route, you find out that you have got a lot of control over your life. Your thoughts bring about your reality. Your thoughts, if they are attached to an emotion, they are magical. Can be in the best and the worst situations in life. You know it yourself. If you think about something, think about somebody, like I said at the beginning, and they automatically appear or give you a call or a text or an email, and it seems really weird the way that happens. But if you know how that happens, you're not surprised by it. This is a magical world. You're able to do so many things, think so many things into existence. I mean, I did imagine this. I did think about this. I wanted this in order to go about the world and travel around and see people and meet people, and I love meeting people. I do. I think it's fascinating, all these different people all over the world. I love them. And I would say that 2/3 of the world is good. And you think, why 2/3 of the world? Because Lucifer was thrown down from heaven down to the earth with 1/3 of the angels. So who are the other 2/3? They're you good people out there. People who just want to get on with your life. Put food in your belly, roof over your head, clothes on your back, and a lover in your bed. The thing is, most people, 2/3 of this good earth, want to just get on with their lives. They don't want all this hatred. They don't want animosity, division. They just want to, get on with each other. Don't necessarily want to love everybody. You can't love everybody because you don't all agree. And that's the wonderful thing about all these different cultures. When you look at the French culture, the Italian culture, the Spanish culture, the Greek culture, the Portuguese culture, the Moroccan culture, the African culture, Egyptian culture, Iranian, Syrian. You're going through Russian, American, Australian, Canadian, Icelandic, Greenland, Norwegian, Swedish, all these different cultures. And you think about what has happened in Hawaii recently. I hope those people stand strong. I hope those people get to the bottom of this. If nothing else, something has to come from this. All those people that were killed, those children especially. And if you look at all the evidence that's going on in that region alone, there are too many coincidences. Too many things went wrong to make it a natural disaster. I'm not going to go into it all right now because it's not my business. And I really do hope that the agencies that are involved do not swindle the Hawaiians, because I advise you not to give to the Red Cross. I advise you not to give to the government agencies. They're the ones who are trying to stop the stuff coming through. And the Red Cross has been known to take the kids through their social worker network, set up offices, let the children come to them and then traffic them. If you know of any difference, tell me. I'm all ears. I'm wanting to hear from you if you know of any different scenario to that. So, if you want to give to the Hawaiians and help rebuild their culture, because it is being swiped from underneath them and they are fighting bitterly for it, to keep it. And I really do, I send my prayer out to them. That's Psalm 141. Most of the world want them to be happy. Look at them. They greet everybody with happiness, a song and a dance at the airport. And it's all lovely. Even their hello is beautiful. Aloha! I think we ought to have that as our mantra. Every time we introduce ourselves on our videos, we say, Aloha! Because then we remember what those people are going through. My heart is resonating for you now. I'm not going to continue because I've got this welling up in my eyes right now and this lump in my throat that's not enabling me to talk because I think of the... Stay strong. Let anger be your guidance right now, but anger in the right way. Think clearly, think positively, and think together. Connect with your community. And I advise everybody to do that. Stand together. Don't conform to everything that you see around you. Don't be fearful of it. There are more people out here who want to see you thrive, who want nothing but love. Turn to those people. Take the fear away from your heart. Feel the love instead. Feel that in love sensation with the rest of humanity. Connect with all these different cultures that you have had the privilege to know. Together we might just see it through.